Hello and welcome to another episode of working on my Ktm Exc 300. In last episode, I've probably just cut it out because my phone died, but we ended up inputting all the bearings in front and rear wheel, and that's actually pretty much all I did. And taking off the sprocket, and I also cleaned the bike and stuff, so the video was quite longer than I expected. I'm always, when I'm recording a video, it's always longer than I want to. So I decided to split it into 2 or 3 parts, and in today's part, we are gonna mount the rear wheel with the chain and the sprocket. Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers because yesterday I was expecting just to put the front wheel in, but I ended up in the dark. I ended up installing the front brake pads, which are in now, but I didn't record it because my phone died and it was really dark outside already, so you couldn't see shit. And also, if you didn't see the first part, you should check out my YouTube channel, and it should be hopefully already there. And I'm gonna be slowly posting everything, and just getting through it. So it should be there, the first part. And also, when I changed the brakes, the front brake lever was still a little bit soft, which is a sign of that they have some air in them. So I decided to bleed them, and I've ordered before, as I was showing you in the first video, I've ordered a syringe for bleeding the brakes, which is now, I don't really know where, but I've ordered it, and I've decided it was clutch bleeding syringe, but it should work on the same basis like in here and there. So I've decided to use it, but I've got even more air into the brakes. So today's or tomorrow's mission is going to be bleed them, but I'm keeping that as a last thing. So the brake is now pretty much loose. There's no pressure at all, which is not really good, and I'm not really happy about it. But I know about the throttle cables are sideways because I needed to undo these bolts to make it even. And another problem we had, that this Torx is all right, but this one was fucked up. I might find the old one. So I got from a dirt bike shop near my house. I found one bolt they had left. So it's not even Torx, it's just a Phillips head, but it's better than having a screwed one. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to do today, is the rear wheel chain, hopefully. And I don't really have the chain pressing tool. I think it is, as I said, it's from Czech Republic, which is really cool. But this chain is not like a pressing, it has like the clip. But usually what you should do is, you should clip it on, and then these end nipples, you should like rivet them, or like use like the pressing tool to make them flat so it doesn't pop out, which I don't really have. So that's the reason I have bought this, which is like a center punch, which should be hopefully working. It's not really optimal, but I couldn't get any pressing tool from any shop near me, so I thought I can try to do it with this and see how it goes. Maybe it won't work, maybe it will. We will see later on. So what I'm gonna do now is probably take you on the tripod and start putting on the rear wheel. um, One problem we had with the front wheel I didn't record was that the bearings wasn't really straight. One bearing was like sideways, so the axle, when I was putting it in, was going like sideways, and it wasn't fitting in the other side. So I had to rework it a little, but eventually it like worked out, and now it's in. It's spinning freely, and as you can see, there's a lot of brake fluid here, because I was battling with that for a long time yesterday. So yeah, I really hope I will get it running, otherwise it will be a problem. And another thing I want to do is drain the oil and replace it with some fresh one, because I don't really know how long the oil was there. So yeah, that's pretty much all we have to do now, and let's get into it. So first thing before we start is I'm gonna put the wheel back and just probably quickly double check all these bolts. I've put them in a rush, so I just don't want to be losing the bolts while I'm riding. They're brand new, I replaced them, and the old ones were in terrible condition. I've put them away already, but you can imagine how bad they looked. I tried to clean the sprocket a little, but it's not really in a better shape. The sprocket will need change eventually as well, but it's still not in the worst condition. So we need probably a 13. Oh, maybe 12. I don't really remember. Yeah, it was 12. And just quickly double check them if they're all tight. I don't have really torque wrench, so I'm just gonna try to check it by hand, by feel. This one was a bit loosened. For these bolts you need a T45. Now we can install these, which are the spacers. I just checked them and they are both the same, so shouldn't really matter which side with which side. It is there, spinning freely. It's spinning on the bearing, so if it's spinning, then you know everything should be alright. Spin the wheel. The other one in. This one is spinning a bit. I think it's spinning with the rod that is inside. There's like a tube I've shown you on the previous video, and I think it is spinning with that as well. You try to put the shaft or the axle through. It is going through, so I've cleaned it from the last time, and I'll probably put a little bit of lube onto it. So what I did, I used the flathead, the big one, and tried to push the piston a little bit in, not too much, so you don't build too big pressure in the master pump, but I just pushed it a little bit wider, so there's bigger gap for the caliper, and it's easier to fit in the wheel. And what I might do is clean quickly these and these, because it's really nasty, as you can see, and when you have it off, it wouldn't hurt you to clean it, you know. Just give it a bit of wash. So I'll just spray it with something and quickly wash it down so it's cleaner. I might do a quick time lapse of that or something. So I used a little bit of the blue grease on the shaft. So yeah, that's how it looks. And you should have these on both of the ends. One is gonna be holded by the nut on here, and one should be already there. And this side is on the side of the sprocket, so the nut will be here. I think it was like that. The spacer is not all the way in the wheel. It doesn't have enough space. Shit, I have to take off the axle. Try to hit it with the hammer. Ooh, PT.2. What the fuck? So what happened here was, again, that I might just have to move my phone. This wasn't too like properly in, and when I hit it, for some reason it punched the bearing with the seal and everything from the other side. Also the inner tube went outside, so the bearing is not really holding that tight as I would expect it to be. So now I put it back, and both sides are pretty much same inside, and I'll try to put it back again. You have to position the bracket for the rear caliper so it's matching with the holes here, and now you got it in there. Wheel is spinning freely. Other thing is that I don't really know where is my other spacer with the nut. I just saw it short time ago. Oh yes, of course I saw it. because I've put it in my pockets. Here you have to position it always so this tip is on the bolt. That's how you stretch the chain. And the nut you want to do is you push the wheel all the way on these, and I haven't moved them since I take it apart, so just keep the same position, and yep, it's spinning freely. And now we can put the brake pads back. Dirt on the brake pads, so I'm just gonna spray them again with the cleaner. It's, oh shit, drop them again. Put one inside. I always struggled with changing brake pads for some reason when I was younger. I don't really know what was the struggle about, because you know, you just take off one, take the other one in, and it's pretty much all you do. The pin was from inside. Now I cannot find the other hole, which I have no clue where it was. Oh, so yeah, one hole is here, one other hole is here. You have these small pins that you just put through. Don't need any special tools or anything for that. And now when it's there, you just press the piston, press the lever, give it a little bit of pressure, and there we go. Our rear wheel is changed. Try to spin it quickly, see if it's not. Oh, I think the rear wheel is just fucked up. Like, it has seen some better days, so it's like wobbly, but otherwise in the bearings it's working now like as it should, so that's good. So moving on to this side, we got a new front sprocket, which is two teeth bigger than the old one, and you can see how much different it is. It's much bigger. This is 12, this is 14 in the comparison. If you put smaller sprocket here, it will have more power but less speed, so this should get it more faster. I don't really like to shift so often, so this should help me a little bit and will get me a bigger top speed, which I don't really use, but you know, it's better to. I don't really like more power, which the bike has enough power, so I don't really need extra. Other thing is that I don't really remember what side was it on, so I'll just try it both and see. It is just about touching the guard here, which is perfect that it's not, and I honestly think it's should be like this as I had it, but checked it and it should be like this. So we put it there. Of course, also we had there's a seal underneath here, which you sometimes have to replace because over the time it starts leaking oil from the transmission, and then it can make a mess on the engine and you'll be losing the oil. So you have to always check. I've said it in previous video as well. You have to check the seal, but it seems that it's not really leaking. So we put a sprocket in, and now we got our washer. Don't forget about the washer, and we got a nut. I won't be really able to tighten it, tie it up too much, but I'm just gonna put it now there for now, and try to do as much as possible, and then finish it when the chain is on. This one was 17 millimeter. You're gonna reach the point where too much. You have to center the washer first. Could have replaced the washer as well. It's not really looking great, but it is what it is. I'm really excited how it will ride with this one, because you know, it can make a big difference in your riding. If you don't have the sprocket, that you don't really what you're gonna do is you can it's probably useless. So this is gonna be tightened up when the chain is on, so we can use a first gear or second gear and rear brake, and it will hold the wheel not spinning, and then you can tie it up same as we undid it. That's the way we will tighten it up. So next thing is the chain, which is Chazet, it's Czech brand, and I'm not really sure even if it's a O-ring chain. You have lots of different types, and I think this is just a normal one. You have like normal ones, O-rings, Z-rings, and it all differs in how the rings are connected and how is it moving. The better it is, the more expensive it is, and then the longer it usually lasts. After each ride, you should always like clean the chain and lube it up with something, and yeah, I mean, yeah, it will save you some time. It's really cool that it's all in Czech, which I'm surprised. It's really weird to me being in New Zealand, reading something that I have bought here and reading it in my own language, which you don't really you don't see that often. They're also showing you that the chain is moving that way, so the clip has to be facing that way, and they're not saying anything about like making it like flatten these two like rivet points or bolts. So I'm not really sure how, if the master link should be, it's on most of the chains like DYD, DID and stuff like that, but probably not here. It's always better to have it like flattened so it doesn't come loose. It's already pre-lubricated, which is quite nice, but not really when you're working on it. All of your tools will become really um, you know, really messy. This master link comes with already some lube and with some grease and all of the parts you need. So what you need is master link, then this pin, I don't know how you call it, and then this pin, I don't either know how you call it. And what you do here is take the grease, push it a little bit on onto here. There, we got it. Not really pretty, but it will work. I think the chain will be much shorter than it is now on the bike, so I will have to move the rear wheel much to the like more to the front, but we'll see. What I'm gonna do here is you don't really want to get the chain messy on the ground, especially if I'm working. If you're working in a barn like me, just put it. Oh, I have to put it anyways. And if it's too long, you just have to angle grind it, or if you have the master link breaker or the chain breaker, then you can take it apart with that. But we got a chain even longer than I was expecting. You can see here we've went all around with the chain, and it's still about 2 lengths longer than it was. So what I'm gonna do is probably take an angle grinder, cut it here, and no, actually cut it here and connect it. A couple of minutes later and a little bit of angle grinding later, we got a chain back. I had to, basically what I did was like angle grinded one of these rivets or these pins, and then just hit it with the center punch, and yeah, that's how it goes. And I would really recommend you to buy the chain tool, which costs like $30. If I knew I would need it, I would buy it, but I don't know, I just like wasn't thinking about it too much. And I don't have really time to wait for the shipping to get it here, but or like for the post to get it here. But yeah, next time I'll be doing it, I'll definitely buy it because it's much easier to disassemble the chain with that instead of like hitting it. We're gonna put this master link inside. We got it already pre-greased as we saw before, as we did before. Can put a little bit of the grease on this inside part as well. Again, for a job like this, you got a little screw on the tool as well that pushes it in, and it makes much easier when you don't have it. You have to find some other ways how to get it inside. Couple of minutes again and we are back. I had a bit of problems pushing it into this, and as I said, if you had a tool it would be much easier. But what happened, I put it on the front sprocket, and then on the front sprocket it wasn't moving much, the chain to the left and right, so it was more stable, and I just like used flathead screwdriver and hit it in, and yeah, it popped in. Then you just put a clip in and clip it like that. I might need to tension the chain a little bit more, which I will do probably a bit later because I will have to put it on the ground and measure it and see how it goes. So probably next step is now I'm gonna be changing the oil. To drain the oil, there's a drain plug right under the gear shifter. But what you need to do, or what you should do, is always heat up the engine for a little bit, not too much, but at least keep it idling for a bit. And also I already tensioned the chain, which was quite simple. Only problem was that this bolt was really seized, or this nut, so I had to put a big pressure on it. I was a bit scared that I will fuck it up, but yeah, eventually it got loosened. And what you do is just loosen up this one and like untighten this bolt to push the wheel out. Now it's like this, and I still haven't put it on the ground, so maybe it's too tight. I'll just have to have a look later, but I just did it at least a little bit, and then give it a bit of touch-ups later on. So now the bike is warm. The nut there, or the bolt there, the drain bolt, is 13, and I've also prepared a measuring cup to drain it into, so I can just check the oil, how is it looking, because it's a new bike I have bought, so I don't really know what condition is the transmission and stuff. I could see more in this than in that black one, and yeah, let's get into it. Hey Spy, you try to prepare your oil jug, or like measuring. Now you drain it all into here. So far there's like 650, which is not really good, but maybe I could put the bike in under more angle. The oil doesn't really firm. I let it warm up for like 2 minutes only. So the drain bolt has a little magnet here, which holds all the debris from the engine, and it seems that it's not as bad. It has some shit on it, but it's usual that it has some debris. But if it's not like a huge metal pieces, then it should be alright. There's a piece of seal. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a red gasket. So my mic has died. I'm gonna use the phone mic. Hopefully you will you will hear me. I use 15W50, and that's what it should be in the engine. It should be by Motorex, but this is some cheap brand that I got. It costed like 20 bucks, so hopefully it will work. And I found it that from the empty drained engine should be 800 milliliters, but when you drain it just like I did, you never drain everything from there, so there should be around 700 to 750 milliliters. To make sure you don't have more oil than you need, you just undo a screw that is here. It even says underneath, it says oil. You cannot probably see it much, but under here there's oil, and there's the screw. You don't have to probably undo it completely, because you just have to check it. Like if the oil gets to the level it starts leaking, then you tighten it up and you see it's like full. So you just undo it a little and starts filling it up. the screw was 8 mil, and I probably don't have to explain how to change the oil. Probably undo the bolt completely actually, just to make sure. I don't want to put too much oil into there. It's not that hard to put it back, just the spring is in a way. You can probably take off the spring, but that's another job that I don't really want to do. So I took off the bolt. This bolt has copper washer, which is right as it should be, but you know, somebody before me obviously didn't have copper washer for the drain plug. Fill it up more. We are about the range of 600-700 milliliters, so I think we are getting pretty close. I also forgot to mention that when you're draining the oil, you should I can see the oil in the bolt, but it's not just spilling out. Now it's starting to push it out. Oh yeah, there we go. There's actually 2 washers for some reason. Yep, our oil is coming up. I forgot to mention that when you're draining the oil, you should remove the oil cap to make the flow easier, and it's like having some air coming in. I forgot to do that. I just realized when I saw it. There we go. That's our oil changed. And last thing you do is put back the cap. And after you change it, you should keep it idling for a little bit so it settles everywhere, but it's not really necessary. Just warm up the engine and it should be good. One of the last things that we are gonna do is take out the old air filter. On KTM it's pretty easy. You usually should have to take out the whole top seat on most of the bikes, but KTM's and probably Husqvarna's has just these side panels. I've been interrupted by my girlfriend now, but what I'm doing is I have a brand new air filter and I'm making like little dots on it. I put a bottle on and I tilt it over, let it soak, and then put it back together. I make it like all over the dots, and now I'm gonna put all 5. Now I'm just gonna like push it all in together and try to get the oil as much on the filter as possible. The previous filter was quite dirty, and I don't know when was the last time the previous owner washed it, so it's better to do it. And you should just couple minutes give it a little like proper massage. And I also used a brake cleaner and a towel and cleaned inside because it had some little bit of like debris. I don't know, for some reason, like orange shit inside, and you know, I also really don't like the oil filter oil, so I'm trying to keep it in the bag, but it's not really working, so I'll just take it out and give it a massage. Another thing is that I've cleaned this with brake cleaner as well, and just cleaned it a little bit. And so that's how about the air filter should look like, just fully covered in the oil. And it's really easy to spot on the new filter where you missed some spots because it's just brand new and it's white. So if you have some white spots like here, you should give it a little bit of rub and see. And at the end, you should use a little bit of the oil, put it on your finger and put it all around here on this surface, just to make it stick on the airbox and not let any shit inside. But first I would put it into the cage and then do it. Some of the older air filters, like on my EXC 300 2009 I had, was really hard to put it on, but now the air filter here, the cage and everything is made really simple. So just put it on. You have 2 pins, one is here, and then you have like these little holes that you put again through these holes. Pretty simple, not too complicated, and it's really messy, so you always want to have some gloves, otherwise I don't know how you would end up. The thing you can do it is you put it into the lid or the cap of the bottle and just put it on your finger and go around, but I spilled it on it and just trying to give it a layer. It's not necessarily like you don't have to do it, but It just gives you extra protection. And changing the air filter is like the easiest maintenance you can do on the bike, and it helps you to keep the engine in good condition and just, you know, not letting shit inside. Now we got pretty much everything done on the bike. Last thing is that I'm gonna do tomorrow is cleaning the suspension with my little plastic tool and just cleaning the seals, the oil and dust seal under the forks, and bleeding the front brake. I have to go now, so I don't really have much time left. So yeah, I'm gonna be trying to bleed this one. Hopefully it will be successful, otherwise I'm pretty much fucked because I don't know how I'll ride without the front brake. And I just spotted these blasters. I dropped it onto my oil pan, and yeah, need to clean them. I'm just checking quickly if everything is where it should be, but the new chain is okay. I've tightened it up too much, so I loosen it a little, and you have these little two holes, or like these points where you can measure it, where is it sitting. So now it's same on both sides, and the chain has slack like this. I'm not really gonna probably lube it up or like use the chain grease on it now, because it's already greased up. And yeah, give it one more wash tomorrow probably. This fork is leaking a little, you can see. Probably not, but it's making a little bit of layer of the oil. It's not extreme leak, I've seen much worse, but like for example this one was leaking like crazy. All the forks on the bottom were like fully covered in oil. So yeah, I'm just gonna give it clean and hope that it could save a little bit. And yeah, the pipe is getting rusty. I would like to fix it somehow, but not really sure how. This is all dirty, but I guess that's how the bike should look. Also, I've tightened up these bolts, which is like the rates, how much you can turn. And this one was okay, but on the other side it was like coming out like this much, so it helped. Now I can turn in the forest easier. And yeah, for the end of the video, or for the end of the day, we can start it up. It will be probably smoking a little because we've changed the oil, so it's sucking a little bit. If you put too much oil on the filter, it usually can get a little bit of like bog. So we got another day, and I'm almost done with my bike, which is quite nice. I haven't recorded what I've done just now because my missus was working around in the shed with her horses, so I didn't really want to record while she's around. So what I've done is that I've managed to bleed the brakes. I was really skeptical and I was really scared to do it because yesterday it was like no go. Like I didn't have a single chance like do it. Like I don't know, I've tried everything and it wasn't working. So I watched some videos, and one trick that I've done was I unscrewed the cap, and I was just slightly tapping like this the lever for maybe like 20 minutes straight. There was some bubbles coming, then it stopped, and it was still really soft. So as you can see, I've replaced this bolt because it was really fucked up. So now I have Phillips head and Torx. But yeah, like I said, I was tapping this lever for a couple of minutes, like just slightly, not really pushing it, but just tapping it, and it was pushing all the bubbles out. You have this one open, but other than that, everything is closed, all the lines. I also saw a hack that you should like go and tap the line all over, up and down. So I did that, but that didn't really help. Maybe it helped something, but it's mainly like when you have big bubbles stuck in the line, you tap it and it like spreads it out. So that didn't really help, but at least I did it. And then after I was tapping it for like 20 minutes, I undid this cap and plugged a little hose on it. That hose went into a like bottle of dot fluid, so you don't spill it anywhere. And basically I just pumped it like 3 times, released it, and quickly tightened it up again. And that happened, that helped. Like after tapping it, this was like 1 time, and it already got like really solid. The lever was solid, and now it's like really hard. So I'm really happy with that, with the outcome. I wasn't really expecting it to be that fast, but yeah, that's pretty much all I did. I'm really happy with that, and now it should be braking well. I haven't really tried it yet, but yeah. So last thing I want to do is clean the forks, which means I'll remove these guards, then I'll use a screwdriver flathead to get under this seal to pop it out, take it down, clean this seal, clean this is dust seal. In manual they call it dust boot for some reason, and underneath you have oil seal, which you also clean, and it could stop leak. If it doesn't, then you have to rebuild them. And I was reading the manual yesterday, I couldn't sleep, and I found out it's really easy to rebuild them. So if it doesn't help, I'll make another video how to rebuild a fork and show you at least something interesting. So I'll probably put you on a tripod now and show you how to do these forks. I also took off the louvers, like louvers, I don't know how you call them, these guards, and cleaned them. And there was a lot of grass. As you can see, all of the grass that is here was underneath them, so it was stopping the flow of the air. So if you see some dirt there, you should clean it, just to make the bike get cooled down a little bit easier. And then I also read about setting up the suspension, so I might play around with that as well. It's pretty much easy because all the clicks are same. Like there's 18, 15 and 12. So 18 is like, I think, the sport one, 12 or 15 is standard, and 12 is comfort, or it's upside down. I'm not really sure. I have it screenshotted. So here is rebound, here is compression, and then here you have high speed compression, I think, and here you have rebound. So this is high speed and this is probably low speed. I'm not really sure. How is it? Yeah, this is high speed and this is low speed. So yeah, and the big screw you just do like all the way in, and then you do 2 out, I think, something like that. I have everything screenshotted, so I might drop you some screenshots here. And yeah, I might print out the manual just to have it, you know. It's quite nice reading to get know more about your bike and just know how to do the things. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Chain is ready and bike is pretty much all ready. I gave it a little bit of polish to the plastics. I sprayed it with like wet look spray, and yeah, just to make it look nice. I like when it's shiny. So yeah, we can get to it and keep watching. So what we will need for cleaning the brakes is for cleaning the forks is some brake cleaner, then a couple of rags, then some piece of plastic. This is really dirty one, but it's still gonna work. I will clean it a little bit with the brake cleaner, and some thicker screwdriver, or like wider one, and some smaller one to start with. I also forgot to bring 8mm spanner. You're gonna start by removing these screws. I hope you can see it. If not, then it's just the bottom screws of the fork. So first step is done. You have the fork guard removed, and now you got a fork inner tube, which is like the chrome, and just give it a bit of spray and just clean it like this. Cleaned it. Now you take your thinner screwdriver and pop it. I'll try to zoom it more so you can see what I'm actually doing. So what you're gonna do is pop it between the outer tube and the seal, not too much so you don't get through the seal. And this one is holding pretty tight actually. So you make a gap like this, and now there comes your bigger screwdriver that you're gonna spread it out and walk your way through. This dust seal is not as dirty as I was expecting, but we're gonna definitely give it a clean. So what you're gonna do now is basically just spin it around and spray it with the brake cleaner. Slide it a little bit down, clean what came from it. And I like to put my rag on the screwdriver, like this is the rag, this is the screwdriver, and like get all the shit out. I hope you can actually see it. Yeah. Yeah, they have been already replaced because original ones are black ones. So it's definitely not the original ones. There's no way the bike would last 400 hours with dust seals. And now you basically what you do is put your plastic underneath it, slide it, and lift this side a little bit up so you make like a little like edge and start to scratch it out, all the mess. And luckily all the mess is probably gone from just cleaning it before, because there's not really much coming out. Some little bit of water and stuff, but it's reasonably clean. So I'm just gonna keep on working on this a little bit more and then get onto the oil seal. Finished cleaning it, and now you're gonna slide your plastic. I'll probably use this end actually because it's more solid than this one. This is like wobbly. You slide it underneath the oil seal and go all around. Don't be surprised if some oil comes out, because that's what happens because you lift out the oil seal, so the oil just leaks from there. But it's not gonna be permanent, it's just when you're cleaning it. So just go again all around. First time did it properly, and you can see the oil is really black, which is not good. The oil when it comes in is usually white or transparent, not white, but this oil definitely needs a replacing eventually. So what I've done was I've quickly cleaned it with brake cleaner inside of the seals, just sprayed it and then pushed the oil dust seals back inside with the screwdrivers. Now I'm gonna put back the four guards and do the same thing on the other side, and there's nothing different, it's same process. I did the exact same process on this one. This one was not leaking at all, but I've cleaned it and it had like grease all over, which is a thing that some people do, like they put a grease to stop all the mess going inside, and the grease should hold it, and if it's leaking they put the grease there and it should stop the leak, at least for the ride or something. So I've cleaned it, didn't put any extra grease in there, and we'll see how it goes. They're a little bit scratched, like you can see these little lines. That's not really the best, and you can use like a polishing pads to at least polish them a little, but there's some specific size that you should like measure it, and if it's smaller than that you should replace them. But yeah, I'm not really doing that. So yeah, another thing that I've done was release the extra pressure from the forks, which is these bolts. You either have these small bolts there or screws, or you have like a little tap, like a button that you push and it releases the pressure. I don't have the button, so I just use the screws. So I'm pretty much done with everything I wanted to do on this bike, and I really hope it was at least a little bit helpful. It was some of the things were like a little bit of learning for me as well, so I guess I wasn't really trying to teach you anything, or just trying to show you how I do it and how to do it without any professional tools. I really want to get some of the tools that I've mentioned in the video, and eventually I will buy them, like the chain press tool and maybe some bearing remover tool and stuff like that. But you know, I'm just setting up my little workshop here, and I'm just pretty much starting here with everything since I've moved to New Zealand recently, so I don't have anything. I'm just starting from zero. So yeah, the bike is pretty much ready. It has everything done. I just check all the bolts, and they seem to be pretty tight. So I'm saying again, I'm not like professional, and I'm just making the videos because I like the bikes and I like to talk about it. So yeah, that's everything. If I will remember, I forget something, I will continue with this video, but probably everything is done. Last thing I did, I put the bike on a stand a little bit backwards so I can lift the front wheel, and I just use brake cleaner to clean the brake pads and check all the bolts. Now I'm getting my car ready, and hook up the trailer, get the boot ready with all the stuff I need, and we are gonna go riding tomorrow. So I might give you some updates, but I really hope everything will end up okay. I've drowned this side of the blaster in the oil, so it's really oily, and I might give it a clean. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, some comment, and I'll be really happy to make some video next time for you again. And if you're interested in something in this bike, or this bike, you can let me know, and we can definitely make some video about it again. See ya.